So, dualism says that there are two substances in reality, the material substance and the ID substance. And for example, if you have three apples and you place them on the table, in the pattern of a triangle, then the three apples would be the material reality, and the shape of the triangle would be the ID reality. And we live in a time and a place that science has made a lot of progression in terms of describing the material world. So we practically invented a language for it called mathematics. And with mathematics we can describe the behavior of the material world, and we can even predict future behavior of the material world in a lot of cases. And this made a lot of people believe that dualism isn't true, that there isn't the ID world, there's just the material world. And the ID world is just an illusion. I mean, it's there, but it's not what it is. It is reducible to just a material. So we just got three apples and not a triangle. The triangle isn't there. And this creates a problem because it removes the identity. I mean, what is an electron? What is a planet? What is a brain? I mean, if you're just focused on describing the behavior, it becomes very difficult to describe identities. And this comes forward because identities can only reveal themselves when they are related to other identities. So if you want to know what this thing is, you have to say, what is this thing to me? You relate it to another identity. And then it becomes, in a lot of cases, very obvious that most things, they fall into two basic categories. At the highest level, of course, you can make nuances, but on the most basic level, if you say, what is this thing to me, you can say they fall in the category of tools and of obstructions. Things that help me sustain my identity and things that threaten the sustainment of my identity. And then you can make the question bigger, and you can say, okay, I'm part of a tribe, of a group. I'm a social animal. So I want to know, what is this thing for the tribe? So we want to reveal the identities of things in relation to the tribe identity. And then you can ask the question, what does this thing mean to us as a tribe? So for example, cows, well, they have 4 feet and they have a head, and they can provide food. Like they can eat grass. We cannot get a lot of nutrition from grass, but cows can. They have 4 stomaches, and then we can eat the cow or drink the milk. So they mean food, sustenance of our tribe identity is very important. But then there are also things out there with also 4 feet and a head, but the head has really sharp teeth, and they are called tigers, and they can eat us. So that's an entire different category, right? So scientifically, in the material world, they are related, right? And there are mammals, there are 4 feet, they're pretty the same thing. But in the world of IDs, there are 2 different categories, because the one sustain the tribe identity and the other threaten the tribe identity. And then you can even go more upwards. What's at the top? What does it aim to, all these identities? Well, what's up the top of the hierarchy, of the pyramid, is obvious. It is being itself. Being itself is at the top of the pyramid of what things are. And then you can ask the question, okay, what is this thing in relation to being itself? Well, now we become at a very philosophical territory. But for example, light, you can say, well, light related to being itself is a revealer of truth, or a bringer of life. And then you can also describe darkness, because darkness is the absence of light. And then you can say, okay, but if something is totally defined as the absence of something that is, then it got no being of itself. So light is related very closely to being itself, the top of the pyramid. But darkness has no being. And that is really comforting, because that means that everything that's dark will have an end, because it cannot self-sustain. And the same is true for good and evil. Like good and evil, there are things that fall into the being hierarchy, and evil is just the absence of good. So good has being. It can sustain itself for a pretty long time, and it will come back, because it's really closely related to being itself. But evil isn't. It will always fall in its own trap. So that is how you can navigate the identity landscape in a world that's almost never sees beyond the material.